Good morning, and welcome to another episode of Military Monday. For almost 2 decades, we have heard stories about our American warfighters deploying to Iraq and Afghanistan fighting the war on terror. The mainstream media loves to cover how many of our warriors have come home and have been mentally and physically injured protecting our country and our freedoms. The story the mainstream media rarely shares is what amazing things those warriors are doing today to continue to serve others, regardless of their new life conditions. So today, I want to share the story of a Marine officer that has not allowed his injuries to define him or become a victim, but to use his injuries to make this world a little better for others in his position. In an instant, Derek Herrera knew it was all over. The bullet entered his shoulder, but it lodged into his spine. That meant several things for the 28-year-old, none of them which are good. Immediate paralysis from the chest down. Immediate end of his dream job as an elite Marine Special Operations team commander. Immediate start of a grueling rehabilitation that would last years. These days, Herrera, now 34, doesn't spend much time dwelling on the enormity of those losses. He can't. He's way too busy. He and his wife have twin 2-year-old boys who love to wrestle, climb, and speak to each other in their own secret language. He's also running a small business based around a big idea, that a new kind of catheter could help end the hell of urinating for paralyzed men like himself. For Herrera, the climb back to a new level of normalcy took years of work. He had to keep reminding himself to look forward, not backward. Herrera and his wife were high school sweethearts. Since the beginning, Derek has always been a calming force in my life, his wife said. Maura Herrera, 33. He just is a very calm, cool, and collected guy. They stayed together through their college years in Maryland, where she studied dance performance, and he attended the United States Naval Academy. Derek trained in Quantico, Virginia to be a U.S. Marine Corps infantry officer, then deployed to Iraq in 2008. After years of rigorous training, he attained a major career goal in 2011. He became a Marine Special Operations team commander. It's what I felt like I was meant to be doing with my life, Herrera said. I felt completely fulfilled, and it was awesome. Derek and Maura relocated to Camp Pendleton in California in 2011, and Derek began hand-picking a team of 20 Marines who would deploy to Afghanistan with him. The close-knit group arrived in Afghanistan's Helmand Province in May 2012. They would have 1 month there together before everything would change. On June 14, 2012, 10 of Herrera's team members woke up in the middle of the night. They headed out in stealth mode along with 10 Afghan service members so they could set up an ambush position before the sun rose at 4:40 a.m. After more than 2 hours of hiking through muddy, wet terrain, they arrived at a compound that an Afghan elder had agreed to let them use. Sergeant Rick Breyer was stationed on the roof of the compound. He remembered hearing morning prayers, and then he noticed something unusual, a mass exodus of people. Women, children, anyone who didn't want to fight, they were leaving the area, Breyer told Today. I radioed into Derek, and he came up to the roof with me. I said, keep your eyes open. Within the next minute, Herrera and Breyer were both shot. Herrera's bullet paralyzed him instantly when it reached his spine. Breyer's bullet traveled completely through his neck and somehow went right between his vertebrae. I remember hearing, oh crap, I think Ricky's dead, Breyer said. I barely cracked my eyes open and there was a pool of blood and it was mine. Here's why I'll never be able to thank Derek enough. Even though he had been shot, I heard him say, no, help me keep him alive. Fellow Marines summoned a medevac helicopter and ran out to it, completely exposed, so they could carry Herrera and Breyer stretchers to safety. It was the best and the worst day of my life, Herrera said. As a leader, It was the best day of my life because my team showed the best and most heroic actions on the battlefield. I'm still alive today because of that, and so is Ricky. And obviously, it was the worst day because so much was taken away. Maura Herrera could barely process the news when Derek called her that night. She remembers that he managed to sound as calm as ever. He said, "I've been shot. I'm coming home. I will likely never walk again. Please call my parents and your parents," she recalled. Her husband received a Purple Heart, a Combat Action Ribbon, and a Bronze Star in a profoundly uncertain future. The whole thing was a big question mark, Maura said. Who was he going to be as a person? Who was I going to be as a caregiver? Who were we going to be as a married couple? Herrera put intense pressure on himself to meet or exceed rehab goals quickly, but that wasn't always possible. I don't want to say he was a difficult patient, but Maura Herrera said with a laugh, he was a little bit still in Marine mode. He wanted to move fast. By January 2013, Herrera was able to return to a desk job at Camp Pendleton. Soon after, he began pursuing an MBA at the University of California, Los Angeles. When I was in business school, I really started thinking, Herrera said, although there were a lot of things I could do, was there something that only I could do? Something that no one else could do? Derek Herrera earned a Master's of Business Administration from the UCLA Anderson School of Management in July of 2015. After a spinal cord injury or a disease leaves someone unable to sense the need to urinate, the once simple act of going to the bathroom becomes a nightmare. Men must insert a plastic tube inside themselves 6 to 8 times a day, an average of 50 times a week in order to drain their bladders. The reality is I can get around pretty much anywhere I want in a wheelchair, but I'm still using this archaic medieval device to empty my bladder, Herrera said. A jolt of inspiration came to him. Could he possibly help design a new catheter for paralyzed men? The end result of that idea is a device called the connected catheter, which is patented and in clinical studies across the country. Men can wear the fully internal device for up to a week, and it discreetly lets them know when it's time for them to empty their bladders. Herrera founded Spinal Singularity, a business with 6 employees in San Clemente, California, after he graduated business school. I really hope this will be transformative for people, Herrera said. Herrera's business started ramping up around the same time he and Maura welcomed their twin boys, Hunter and Hudson, with the help of in vitro fertilization in 2017. They love trucks, cars, and roughhousing, and they make their parents' heart explode with gratitude. We both look at these boys and there's just nothing better, Maura said. Everything else could all go away. Derek cares for the boys by himself while Maura works as a ballet instructor in the evenings. The twins love that their dad has wheels. Hudson especially loves to sit on my lap and cruise around, Herrera said. Maura and Derek Herrera have lots of fun with their twin boys. I've been fortunate to do a lot of things in my life, but having kids is the most amazing thing of all, Derek said. Derek and Maura hope that their sons will be more empathetic and compassionate adults after growing up around someone in a wheelchair. Derek often finds himself reflecting on something a close mentor told him when he became a dad. He said, "I'm so excited for you because your kids will be the first ones to know you the way that you are now," Derek said. "They're not going to see you any differently. They're not going to ask you why you don't walk. They'll be the first ones to accept you just the way that you are." The trials that our modern warriors face are the same that all our warriors throughout our nation's history have faced. Mental and physical injuries are something that those who experience war will face. The difference is that we have come a long way in how we welcome our warriors home, the organizations that are here to support the needs of the service member and their families, and there's still a long way to go. The mindset of our warriors has not changed. Continue to fight no matter the odds. Continue to pursue greatness. Continue to stand in the face of adversity and never quit until the mission is accomplished. And when the dust settles, never let our new lifestyle define who we are or our ability to change the world and serve others. Derek is living proof that if you put a challenge in front of one of America's finest, they're going to adapt, overcome, and the results will be to create something that the world hasn't seen before, ultimately changing the lives of others for the better. Now, there is no doubt that it takes not only an incredible person of character to face what Derek has faced and come out on the other side a better person, but he has had a support structure that has allowed him to grind through those valleys he has experienced all along the way. No warrior can do this on their own. As much pride as our service members have, we all know the truth. It takes a tribe. We salute you and your entire family, Derek, and will be praying for your continued health, and we thank you and your wife for both of your service to this great nation. Our mission here at Bird's Eye View Project is simple. Serve those who serve us. We do this by supporting organizations like Gratitude Initiative and One More Wave, both providing unique services to our active duty military, military veterans, and their families. Send us your stories of a military hero to info@birdseyeviewproject.org so we can share it with everyone. We want to thank you for joining us today. If you've enjoyed this video, please like it on social media, share it, and invite someone you care about to follow Bird's Eye View Project. Remember, love on one another, be kind to one another, and always serve those who serve us.